Hey, y'all countrymen, back in the kitchen. I've got dirty jars over there that I've just emptied. I've got my water bath canner. I'm going to use this afternoon. And a few trays there. I've got my other trays over here. What we're doing today is making room on the shelf. This is a one-bedroom house versus the two-bedroom apartment I was in. I've got less space here than I did. So what I'm doing is I've got some black-eyed peas here and some whole kernel corn that are close to expiration date. But that's okay. To make more room on the shelf now, what I'm doing is I am taking my black-eyed peas and I am just putting them straight in the colander here. And I am going to run them under just a little bit of water to dress the juice out of them. And yeah, it'll take a little bit of flavor off of them. I'm going to shake these out. Let them drain for just a minute here. And I'm going to take one of my trays. And I've got my screens on them here where they won't fall through or anything. And I am just going to spread them out in a single layer. Now, countrymen, why are you doing that when you had them in a can and they were okay that way? Yeah, the cans were good for two reasons. I can keep these for long-term storage. Once I put them in a glass jar or seal them up in some Mylar or whatever, they're good. They're dry. They're will last a long time. The can, if it gets rust or whatever, the cans will go bad. And if they lose air one time, microbes get in there, the whole can's bad. Dehydrating them, we're going to take all the moisture out, which that's where all your bacteria and microbes and everything grow. And we put them into a jar, and they're good to go. At that point in time, you can vacuum seal the jars, vacuum seal the Mylar bags you put them in, or using the oxygen absorber, tighten it down, and the oxygen absorber will suck everything out of the jar. But I'm putting these on here. The main reason is instead of a shelf full of cans, I'm going to have 1 quart jar full of peas. They will reduce in size to the point that they take up less room, which is a good thing. And I've got some whole kernel corn here that I'm going to do. And all I'm doing is taking them out of the can, rinsing them off, and putting them on my dehydrator sheets. You want a thin layer, not over 1 or 2 deep, just one layer, because the air has got to circulate through them to do a good deal. Now, this is a fruit roll-up tray, and they'll work pretty good. I prefer the ones with the screen, but I don't have that many. I would say if you're going to use the fruit roll-up tray like this, make sure it goes on top. That way you can, it'll get more air. So you see how I do this? I put these back on the dehydrator. It'll probably take, as long as it takes till they dry. I'm going to say 3 or 4 hours. Maybe longer. Check it. Make sure it's okay. Make sure it's dry. But this is one way to save space. And I'll get back to you and I'll show you what it turns out like after I get done. Just one way to save space when you're in a tight situation. And if I can do it, anybody can. God bless. Hey, y'all countrymen, yesterday, y'all seen me do dehydrate the pinto beans. That was 3 or 4 cans. I forgot exactly how many. I even watched the video. I couldn't tell how many I put on there. I think it was 4 cans. that takes up a lot of shelf space. Now, what does it look like after it comes out of the dehydrator? That's 4 cans. That takes up maybe a can and a half space on your shelf versus 4 cans on the, if I left them in the cans. They are dry. I love these things. And I can, since they are cooked already, I can drop these off in a pot with some water, throw me some onions in there, and a little bit of seasoning, and I can have pinto beans in the cold, cold winter. Make me a pot of cornbread in my 14-inch skillet and eat like a redneck king. But this is the reason I do that. I do the same things with my pinto beans. I've got 6 quarts of cooked, dehydrated pinto beans. That way I can make a pot of pinto beans or refried beans in less than 10 minutes now. Soak them or heat them up and everything, and they take up less space. Now, you seen the corn. That was 2 little cans of corn. It ain't very much, but that's a half a pint. It is set. I can dump this off in water and heat it back or boil it back up, make regular corn out of it, which it'll almost come back the way it was. I can put this in soups. This is officially dry. It might take a lot, but I can grind this up and make cornmeal out of it, corn flour, cornstarch. Cornstarch is nothing but the inside of corn. But you can grind this up fine and use it as a thickener. And it's on the shelf. It is dehydrated. And they found stuff in the pyramids that's been dehydrated for 2,000 years. And they grow it, and it is still viable and still good to eat. And that's the reason that I take it out of the can when they start the expiration date goes out. I know the expiration date is a best buy date. It's not a, oh my God, they're bad date. Do your research on that. And if I can do it, anybody can. This is going on the shelf, and I will be doing more. And if I can do it, anybody can. God bless. And just prep for tomorrow. That's what I do. And the reason we might have an SHTF situation. We might have an EMP call. The Yellowstone caldera might blow up and kill us all. Well, fine. If it does, we're all going to die anyway. I'm not prepared for anything for that. But you know what? If tomorrow shows up, I may be hungry. God bless, country man out. And if I can do it, anybody can. Hey, y'all, I want to show you the sweet kernel corn that I'm putting on the dehydrator. I always use the screen sheets on these, or some kind. You can buy them. You can make your own. Go to the craft department and get those plastic screen sheets. Cut them to fit your dehydrator. Put them on. They're well worth the time. I've got 3 trays of pinto or black-eyed peas, 1 tray of corn, which is 2 cans. So I have got, let's see, 5 cans of veggies right on the dehydrator. And everybody thinks that you're weird because you're putting them in a dehydrator. But when I show you how much room you save after you take them out, you'll do a lot better, you'll save a lot of space. And I am doing this for several reasons. It takes up less space. I have food in the house. I have veggies in the house. And I don't have to worry about them ever going bad if they're dehydrated. Long-term storage, I haven't got a Mylar vacuum sealer yet or anything like that. My next thing that I'm going to buy is a vacuum sealer with the lid on it there where I can suck down my jars, and you can never have too many jars. With canned goods, tomatoes I've been canning, and I just bought 2 heads of cauliflower. That's a video coming up. We're fixing to make pickled cauliflower, y'all. Countryman out for now, and if I can do it, anybody can. Just want to let you see how I'm doing the vacuum seat, the dehydrating, and saving a little space. Countryman out for now. God bless.